These long dog days of summer, I mean, we just made it through a heat wave. Mama was parched through this heat wave. I was hitting up Dunkin' every single day, and I will continue to probably for the rest of my days, but especially this summer. Dunkin' is helping everyone stay cool this summer with its lineup of refreshers. These drinks are packed with bold, fruity flavors and served ice cold. It's amazing. Dunkin' refreshers are the perfect afternoon pick-me-up. I like to start my morning with them personally, and then sometimes I go back for a second one because I'm just feeling crazy. They come in a variety of delicious flavors, including fan favorites mango pineapple and strawberry dragon fruit. And then for a limited time, there's black cherry and there's pink pineapple. I'm going to tell you something right now, and it's a bold claim, let me tell you, but I stand behind it. Pink pineapple will change your life. It is so good. It has me feeling like I'm sitting in a pool, resort side, just living, honey. It's so yummy. Try your favorite flavor with green tea, sparkling water, lemonade, or Dunkin's all-new limeade. I haven't tried the limeade yet, but I'm going to. Usually I get my drinks made with green tea and occasionally lemonade, but I do really like the green tea. Or if you don't want to build your own, try one of Dunkin's curated refreshers like the Cherry Lime Ricky or the Ultimate Pink Daydream. The Cherry Lime Ricky, scrumptious. I could drink like 3 of these a day. They're so freaking yummy. Head to Dunkin' today and find your favorite refresher. Dunkin' refreshers contain less than 1% fruit juice. Limited time offer. When it comes to online college, Southern New Hampshire University is so good, it's scary. Listen, the facts don't lie. SNHU has degree programs that fit your goals, online classes that fit your life, and real support at every step. And if that wasn't enough, they've got some of the lowest online tuition rates in the U.S. This is an airtight case, you guys. Visit snhu.edu/morbid to get started. That's snhu.edu/morbid. Chilling crime cases are mysterious, but finding coverage shouldn't be. With the State Farm Personal Price Plan, you have options and can personalize your plan to help create an affordable price so you can get back to cracking all of life's bigger cases. Talk to a State Farm agent today to learn how you can choose to bundle and save with the Personal Price Plan. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. Head to statefarm.com to get a quote. Prices are based on rating plans that vary by state. Coverage options are selected by the customer. Availability, amount of discounts and savings, and eligibility vary by state.
Hey, weirdos. I'm Alaina.
I'm Ash.
And this is Morbid.
And guess what, everybody? It is a special edition of Morbid because we got the chance to sit down with Heidi Jones-Asay, and she got to tell us a little bit about her mother's case. Her mother, if you don't remember, is Loretta Jones. We covered her case. You might have heard it on Wondery Plus 2 weeks ago, and I believe it came out
last Wednesday.
There you go.
So a few days ago.
Yes. So we thought this would be the perfect time. Worlds collided. We got connected with Heidi. She was super happy with the episode and wanted a chance to chat with us. And we were like, hell yeah.
She is one of the sweetest people I've ever met.
Same.
I love her.
Remember we were saying in the beginning of it just she just seems cool, and she is cool.
Yeah, it's so funny because when Ash was telling me her mother's story, I was baffled by Heidi, and I just kept being like, oh my god, Heidi is such a badass. I want to meet Heidi. She seems so cool. I just want to high five her and hug her and solve all the crimes in the world with her. She's just amazing. And then you meet her and it's like, yup, you're exactly what I thought you were going to be and more.
Exactly.
I loved her.
That's the thing. And now we get to go on and be friends with her for the rest of our lives.
Yes.
Because if Tom is ever up for parole, Heidi has invited us to go with her.
Hell yeah.
We are all going to wear our Die Mad Tom shirts.
Yep. And we're doing that.
And they're going to have pink handcuffs on them. And you're not going to know why as I'm saying this, but you listen to this interview with Heidi, you guys are going to find out. And, this was one of the most rewarding things I think we've gotten to do so far.
This was really, really amazing. And Heidi's amazing. And we're so glad that she can tell you the story because she knows it best. It's her mom.
Yes.
And just as a quick little warning, this was a Zoom interview. And you know how sometimes audio can be a little funky over Zoom. So we apologize if it's like a little wonky. Luckily, when Heidi is speaking, it's crystal clear. It's really only when we're speaking, and who gives a shit about us? It's about Heidi. So luckily her parts, you can hear everything. But we just wanted to warn you, you can hear us, you can hear the questions. You just might get a little bit of background noise. So just wanted to prepare you for that. But again, Heidi is crystal clear, which is the important part.
Primo. So I would say without further ado, here's Heidi.
Enjoy, Heidi.
Hey everyone, we have Heidi Jones-Asay on the show today. We recently covered her mother's story on the podcast, Loretta Jones. It's available for everybody now, so check that out. And we're going to do a little follow-up interview with Heidi, who knows her mother's story best. So welcome to the show, Heidi.
Thanks, ladies. I'm excited to be here.
We're excited to have you. Thank you so much for coming on.
Absolutely.
I can tell you too, when Ash told me your mother's story, by the end of it, I was like, bring me Heidi. Like, I want to give Heidi a hug. I want to hang out with Heidi. Like, you are like amazing. Truly.
Well, I just want you to know that if I have to go before the parole board in it'd be 2036, you girls are going with me.
Oh, yes. Absolutely. We're ready to go.
There.
We're like booking tickets right now. Let's go. Let's fight
Absolutely.
that. No, seriously, your story was just so inspiring. The way you sought justice for all those years and finally got it. Just, it's the happy ending for me, you know?
Yeah.
So with that being said, we'll kind of start from the beginning. So you were obviously very young when this happened. You were 4 years old. How can you describe your early childhood? What was it like growing up with your mom when you did? And what was Utah like for you?
So in 1970, it was a small town, probably maybe 7,000 people, maybe.
Oh, wow.
Pretty much everybody knew everybody. If you didn't know everybody, somebody knew somebody that knew you. So, back then little kids played outside. You'd run up and down the streets. You played kick the can, kickball, night games. You would even sleep with your doors and windows open back in the day because, summers are warm in Price, Utah. So especially in July. So we had, it was just my mom and I. We moved around to a couple little places. And then finally my grandfather had bought a house. And so me and my mom rented this house for my grandfather. And it was just the two of us. And it was a perfect little house. And, she would, cook dinners. We'd go get ice cream. We'd go see her friends. She was taking a correspondence course at home to become an accountant. And, she babysit, she was the best mom for me. One of my first memories of her is, sitting in her car, getting ice cream. Of course, we go see grandma and grandpa a lot. When she would iron her clothes, I'd get out my little pretend ironing board and iron alongside of her.
I love that. That's so cute.
We'd sit out on the porch. When people walk by, you pretty much wave to everybody. And like I said, if you didn't know the person, somebody else knew them and they knew you. So it was a real small, we thought, safe town.
Right, exactly. And that's what it sounds like. Yeah. So moving on from that and onto something pretty awful, we're going to talk a little bit about Tom right now. Do you remember anything about your experience with Tom, meeting him or being around him at all as a kid?
I don't really remember him. What I do know is that I knew him. I knew him well enough to know that it was Tom. When the police asked me who it was, and I said, Tom, he had been to the house, I don't know how many times, but he had been around enough that I knew him.
Mm-hmm, right.
So being a single woman, my mom, of course, dated. And, it's not like she brought every guy home with her or whatever.
Sure.
But from what I know is she went on a blind date with Tom and she was set up by one of her friends. who had this friend. And so they went on a blind date. My mom didn't really care for him, so
We could see why.
I know she had good taste.
right. And he probably had this strange suspicion that he had another woman in Helper, Utah that was pregnant with his baby,
Yeah. We have these intuitions as women.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you knew of him, you would recognize him if he was at your house. Is there anything specifically from the night that your mother was killed that you do remember?
I don't, unfortunately. Like, I don't remember, personally, I don't remember that night when this all took place. I have blocked that out, like, really good.
That's good.
My memories, yeah, exactly. My memories don't start really until the next morning, but I know that I saw and I heard more than I remember. Because as a 4-year-old, why would you go look through your keyhole before going into the front room?
That is exactly the way we felt reading that.
Yeah.
You just knew something was off.
Right. And, nowadays the doors don't look like they did back in 1970. We had the old skeleton keys.
Right.
And so you could easily look through and see what was going on in the other room. I had also told my grandmother what happened that night. So what I told her is, I saw Tom, I heard Tom, I could hear his footsteps. I heard him say, "I'm here, I'm going to kill you and maybe your little girl too."
Oh my goodness.
But I can't tell you that, that I remember seeing and hearing that. But vividly the next morning, I remember looking through the keyhole.
Wow.
That must have just been so terrifying as a 4-year-old. I can't believe you went through that. And it's so impressive too that at 4 years old, you had the wherewithal after all the trauma that you had just been through to run and get help. Do you remember having the instinct to do that?
Well, so when I, went out in the front room and I found my mom, I knew nothing, we didn't have 911.
Right. Wow. That's
crazy to think about.
Where was the phone book? I didn't know the number. So,
right.
So when I went outside, and my next door neighbor, his name is Lance, he was outside digging for worms, because you dig for worms to go fishing or whatever. And he says, "Hey, Heidi, come here." And I said, "I can't. I think my mommy's dead." And so he came running over, and Lance is about 5 years older than I am, maybe 4. So he came running over, opened the door, saw my mom lying in a pool of blood, ran back, got his mom. His mom went over, and then she saw what she saw, and then she came back to her house. So we're at his house next door, and then she called my grandparents. Her name was Sue Ann.
Okay, so these were neighbors that you knew and you were comfortable with.
Right. And so then, Sue Ann is the one that ultimately called the police.
Gotcha.
I feel like that's like a real testament to your mom too, just to put that kind of like, because a lot of 4-year-olds they might just sit down and cry, fear. And I feel like that really says something about how she raised you to be like, all right, I got to do something here.
Definitely.
Right. Well, and, I can't tell you that I remember like going over and touching her or any of that to see that she was dead. But the amount of blood that was there in the living room, I'm sure I just knew,
Yeah. And it's your mom. I feel like it's just like,
it's that bond that you have together.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Your home should show off who you are. Now is the time to boldly write the newest chapter in your home story. And your main character? It's Ashley. Ashley has styles that balance timeless appeal and modern trends to bring your personal look home. Yes, these are well-crafted and affordable pieces with eye-catching design, but they're also built to stand up to real life. With features like stain-resistant performance fabric, options that are incredibly durable, easy to clean, and stain-resistant with machine-washable covers. Plus, Ashley provides fast, reliable, white-glove delivery right to your room of choice, so you can style your space without any stress. Ashley was nice enough to send us a bunch of new pieces for My Pod Lab at my house, and when I tell you they they deliver it to your room of choice. Unfortunately, they did have to deliver to the attic, but they could not have been nicer about it. I got, or was gifted, I should say, the Revion Lake sofa and love seat. It's in this like olive colored velvety fabric. It's so nice. I will say it is so freaking easy to clean because if you know me, you know that I have a white cat and a black cat and then a multicolored cat. The white cat loves to just roll all up on this furniture and leave his hair everywhere, but it's so easy to vacuum. I also got the Meili coffee table. So I have that, like I said, in my attic, but I'm ready to order another one for my living room because this coffee table is so beautiful. It has this like antique old money vibe to it. I absolutely love it. And then finally, I got three actually of the core stone end tables. They have little shelves in them so you can dress them up and, kind of like personalize them to your style. I highly, highly recommend all of the pieces that I got. And I just recommend Ashley in general. It was such an easy process to shop with them and the delivery, all of that from start to finish. It was awesome. Visit your local Ashley store or head to ashley.com to find your style. The Sherwin-Williams summer sale is here. Get 30% off select paints and stains or 35% off their newest product, Emerald Symmetry, July 17th through the 27th. Whether you're looking to refresh your interior or your exterior, they've got the colors to bring your vision to life. And with delivery, getting everything to your door is easier than ever. Shop online or visit your neighborhood Sherwin-Williams store. Retail sales only. Some exclusions apply. See store for details. Delivery available on qualifying orders. Getting paid twice a month doesn't mean money is scarce. It just feels that way. That feeling makes you do weird stuff, like putting things on a card you didn't need to. Earnin removes that feeling. With Earnin, you can access up to $150 per day of money you've already earned, plus up to $1,000 between paychecks. Standard transfers take 1 to 2 business days with no mandatory fees, and expedited transfers start at $3.99 and cap at $5.99. 5 million people are already on it, and honestly, it's wild it didn't exist sooner. Download Earnin on the App Store or Google Play, spelled like earning money without the G. Type in Morbid under podcast when you sign up. It'll really help the show. Earnin is a financial technology company, not a bank. Access limits are based on your earnings and risk factors. Standard cash outs take 1 to 2 business days with no mandatory fees. Expedited transfers available for a fee. Tips are voluntary and don't affect the service. Available in select states. Terms and restrictions apply. Visit earnin.com for full details. In an unpredictable economy, life insurance can offer peace of mind that anyone who relies on you financially, a child, a parent, even a business partner, will have a financial cushion if something happens to you. And life insurance typically gets more expensive as you age, so it's actually really smart to get a policy sooner rather than later. By making it easy to compare your options from top companies, Policy Genius can help you make sure you're not paying a cent more than you actually have to for the coverage that you need. And guess what? Having life insurance through your job may not be enough. Most people actually need up to 10 times more coverage to properly provide for their families. Now, Policy Genius we love. Policy Genius is an insurance comparison website that makes it easy to compare quotes from top companies like AIG and Prudential in one place to find your lowest price. You could save 50% or more on life insurance by comparing quotes with Policy Genius. Just head to policygenius.com to get personalized quotes in minutes and find the right policy for your needs. The licensed agents at Policy Genius work for you, not the insurance companies, so you know that they have your back. They're on hand through the entire process to help you understand your options so that you can make decisions with confidence. There's no added on fees and your personal info is private. Policy Genius does not sell your details to third parties. Head to policygenius.com to get your free life insurance quotes and to see how much you could save. So
Absolutely.
Your neighbor calls the police. They obviously arrive. Do you remember talking to them? Do you remember them asking you any questions?
So I remember sitting in the kitchen table at my neighbor's house, and I was just waiting for my grandparents. And the police came and I told them Tom did it. And then the next thing I know, I'm living with my grandparents.
Wow. It's like a whirlwind.
That really is.
Yeah.
And just the fact that you were there and they didn't consider you a witness because you were so young, it must have been so frustrating for you. Do you remember finding that out later and looking back and just being like, what the heck?
Right. Well, because growing up, so Carbon County Sheriff Albert Pasick would come, and Price City Police Chief Art Ploney would come, and they would come to the house and interview me several times. It was like, oh, the cops are here again. Oh, Heidi,
Oh no.
oh, the sheriff's here. So they would come, and I tell them, Tom did it. Tom did it. Tom killed my mom.
Right.
I never changed. My story never changed. So I just assumed that, that would have been used as evidence, or
You would think so. They keep coming back to get the same story.
And then it wasn't until I started working with David Brewer that he's like, I can't believe they didn't put you on the witness stand. Well, but I do remember that my grandparents protected me from having to go through that on the witness stand. I think my testimony would have been enough.
Yeah,
definitely.
That's the thing. It's like a double-edged sword there, because your grandparents were like, we just got to shield her from this. But on the same token, you're like, I know what happened.
Exactly.
It's
nice
position.
It's nice that they shielded you a little bit, for sure. And especially because I'm sure you were terrified growing up. Like, were you scared that Tom was going to come and find you when it started becoming clear that the police weren't listening and weren't following up on this guy?
Well, what I know is Tom was pretty much, after he was released from jail after the Lori Kulo abduction and all that, I know that he was released from jail, and then he left town
really quickly.
Him and his,
yeah.
So they left town, and it wasn't so much that I was scared. I just always felt like I needed to know, like you're looking over your shoulder.
Yeah.
I remember one time in elementary school seeing a strange man, and just feeling terrified, because why is that strange man standing over there? Is he watching me? Is it Tom? Is it somebody else? What's going on? So there was the sense of being terrified, as a child for a few years. And I remember when I first started going to elementary school, or, kindergarten, elementary school, my uncle brother, if you will. So he was my uncle.
Some of those.
I was going to say,
He, I would walk to school with him. I ultimately, he was older than I am, but once he got out of sixth grade, then I had a best friend. We'd meet at School Hill and we'd walk together. So I never really walked alone.
That's good.
So
yeah, that's good. You must have just been so hyper aware of your surroundings, though, and just the anxiety of all of that. I can't imagine. Now, kind of moving on from that a little bit, growing up, you collected anything you could about your mom's case, you were like a little Nancy Drew trying to solve this case. Can you talk about, you really were.
Yeah.
Can you talk to us a little bit about the file that you put together?
So when I was growing up, I would sneak out to the garage where my mother's belongings were stored. And I took her diary.
That's awesome. I would have done the same thing.
Yeah.
So I have her diary from 1961 to 1965.
Oh, wow.
And I stashed it and I just hid it away. Well, my mom wrote a diary every single day, never missed a day. So the diary from 1966, the year I was born, until 1970 is just missing. And of course, the police took that for evidence. But so when I would find any like newspaper clippings about my mom or whatever, going through newspapers that I just happened to find from back then, I would just keep them. And I hid them pretty well, so nobody would catch on to what I had going on. My grandmother, bless her heart, she had no idea that I even had remembered. She thought I had blocked it out of my head.
Wow.
It wasn't later until I was talking to, it would be my brother's wife's daughter. No, my brother's wife's sister. We went on a trip and I started talking about my mom being murdered and all this other stuff. They went back and told my grandma, about it, and she had no idea that I had even remembered all of it.
Oh my
Because we just didn't
God.
talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. It's one of those things where it's like, of that time, we don't talk about it anymore.
Exactly. You know, and I remember the trip we went to Yellowstone, and there I am probably 10 or 12. And here I am talking to this girl about my mom being murdered. And she's probably like, what the heck?
She's like,
Oh,
what now?
Well, you're probably hiding it so well, and you just need somebody to talk to about it. I'm sure you were just wanting to talk about it.
Exactly. So growing up, you know, there was all the talking about it, all the trying to get the murder case solved, up until my grandpa died. And then at that point, you did not talk about it. All it would do was make my grandma cry.
Right.
And I hated being the one, you know, I hated being the one to make grandma cry.
Yeah,
And it
of
was like
course.
that for a really long time.
That must have been so
we
hard too.
Stopped talking about it.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
seems like you were both trying to protect each other.
It really does.
It was just like you both loved each
Exactly.
other enough to protect each other from it.
Exactly. And then, you know, later, me and my grandma kind of, you know, I ended up calling her mom, grandma mom. I call her mom after I was adopted, of course. But, you know, later in life, I would come, when I lived in California, I'd come over and visit, and I'd say something about my mom or try and ask her questions, and she'd just get upset and cry. And I hated being the one that made her cry.
Of course.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then towards the end, I finally told her, I says, I'm tired of competing with you as to who hurts the worst. I
could
understand
totally
it was your
understand that.
daughter, but it was my mother.
Yeah.
And she kind of, I think she kind of got a better understanding of where I was coming from, but I hurt too, you know?
Yeah.
Right. Those are two
Absolutely.
of the most important relationships in your life, the mother-daughter relationship. And then she had a totally separate one where she played a different
Exactly.
role.
Yeah. It's
That's-
just, they're just, it's
Exactly.
not different levels of grief. It's just different kinds of grief.
Definitely.
Right.
How hard to navigate that.
Yeah,
I
I
give you
can't
so much
imagine.
credit.
Yeah.
So obviously you're going through all of this. You can't really talk about it at home. The police aren't really making any movement. What was your motivating factor that like kept you going when you were hitting these dead ends?
So I left Utah in 1986. I moved to California. And so my mom's case pretty much was closed, not closed. It went cold.
Right.
Mhm.
They just didn't do anything. And so I left, went to California. And then in 1989, I decided I would write to this television show that had just came out called Unsolved Mysteries.
I think I've heard of
Yeah,
that.
just a little show.
Right? So I wrote to them thinking, oh, you know, maybe they can help me solve this. And I didn't get a letter back from them. So then I thought, okay, I'm going to write to Price City Police. I'm going to write to Carbon County Sheriff's. I'm going to write to the Attorney General's office. I'm going to write to the FBI. I'm going to write to whoever I can. So I did get a response back from Carbon County Sheriff, Albert Pasek at the time. And he sent me the original newspaper clipping from the front page and all of that stuff, and wrote me a really nice letter saying that he believed that they had the right suspect
Mhm.
all along, but there was just no evidence.
Ugh.
So then, that was just like one brick wall, one brick wall, one brick wall, one brick wall.
Right. How did you not shut down
Smash through 'em.
entirely? That's what
You
you
know,
did.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
It has been so incredibly frustrating, being told, oh, there's nothing more we can do. We did everything. No, you
Never.
didn't.
Because
That's
we
never an answer.
justice hadn't been brought yet.
There's always more you can do.
Exactly. And it wasn't until I moved back to Utah that, we got the ball rolling again. And, thank God for that, because we were freaking awesome.
You really were. You should have been on the
Truly.
case all along. Little 4-year-old
I
Nancy
know.
Drew. Come on. So you led me perfectly into my next question. You moved back to Utah from California. And I believe I read in one source, you told your friends it's time to solve my mother's murder. if that is the
Well,
case, how did you know it was time?
Well, when I was leaving Utah, it was 2006. And I left, or when I was leaving California and coming back
Right.
to Utah, it was 2006. And, it was just time to leave California. I lived in San Jose. I was there for 20 years, and I just was not making good decisions at the time.
I get that.
And okay.
Yeah.
We all have a little young crazy spree,
Right?
You got to have it. You got to get it out of your system.
Exactly. So I had told, one of my best friends, I says, well, as long as I'm going to go back to time, I'm going to go solve my mom's murder case. And she's like, fuck yeah, Heidi.
She's
Get
like, I
it.
believe that.
Go off, Heidi.
So, and that's, and that ultimately, when I first got back, it wasn't my first mission in life. My first mission was to find a job, find a place to live, all of that stuff. But
yeah, you need the stable thing
the
before you start
right?
solving a decades-old case.
Right.
So you get back to Utah, you get a little stability under your feet, and then Mr. Brewer enters the scene. So you connected with him on Facebook, and then I think you said you ended up at the same arts festival a little bit on purpose. Tell us a little about that.
So my car had been stolen, and I posted it on Facebook, happy freaking 4th of July. My car was stolen.
Oh,
And so, and this was in 2009. And I had friended David on Facebook, and he says, oh, too bad you're not closer. Maybe I could help. And I says, what do you mean? I said, I thought you were. Yeah, I said, I thought you were in California. And he says, no, I work at Carbon County Sheriff's Office. I'm all ding, 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 ding.
Right?
seriously.
So I just thought, well, I need to go talk to him. So I had figured out at the Helper Arts Festival that he was going. And
I love that.
this is going to sound creepy, but it's the truth. So I went on Facebook. I made sure to notice what he looked like, because he did not look like what he did back in high school.
Of course.
I made sure to know what kind of sunglasses he wore.
Wow.
I
Nancy
kind of stalked his
Drew.
Facebook. Yeah, I truly stalked his page.
Good. We all do,
Right?
It worked out really well.
So then you see him at the arts festival. Was your heart just racing? Like, this is time, we're getting close.
Oh gosh. So when I saw him, he had his back turned to me, and I went over and I hit him on the shoulder. I'm like, David freaking Brewer. And he just kind of looked at me, he's like, hey. And I said, hey, I'm Heidi Jones. He goes, oh, hey, Heidi, how's it going? I'm all, great. How are you? And I'm good, And I said, hey, I have something to talk to you about. And he's like, yeah, what's that?
You're like,
I says, hey, my mom was murdered in 1970 and it's never been solved. Could you look into this for me? And he tells me later that he's rolling his eyes behind his sunglasses.
I heard that in an interview.
Right? So I'm thinking, and he says, yeah, give me a call on Monday. So, he goes back to work, so I leave, blah, blah, blah. So then on Monday, I called him up and I just started telling him everything. And I says, and I have newspaper clippings. I have everything I can send you that I've done on my own. He's like, okay. So then I just started photocopying everything that I had and scanning and sending and emailing, and boom, we were off.
Oh yeah. He was probably thinking, when you're like, I have some newspaper clippings and stuff, he's probably like, okay, sure, send them over. He's probably thinking he's going to get like a handful. And you're like, here's decades worth of research.
Here's an actual case file.
Here you go.
Right. Yeah. Here's every letter I've written to anybody ever about my mom's murder case.
Amazing.
And, here's all the rejection letters. Here's everything,
Wow.
So
that's it. It's the work you put in.
It really
that made
is.
this happen.
It absolutely is. Getting scared is one thing. Getting a thrill is, well, you want more of those in your life. The Genesis GV70 is built to thrill, baby. A thrilling yet elegant design always makes driving the GV70 an exciting adventure. Its powerful athletic stance screams performance and turns heads. Everybody's looking at you, girl, or boy, or whoever. Command the road and experience a class-leading standard 300 horsepower. Oh my God. Plus, discover the different dynamic drive modes for all different terrains. Choose between the different terrain modes for whatever road conditions you may encounter. The Genesis GV70's award-winning technology and performance lets you drive with comfort and drive with confidence all at the same time. It's an exciting SUV with intuitive tech that can make your ride smooth even when the road isn't. And its blind spot cameras allow you to see what's next to you. It's like having eyes on the side of your head. That's pretty iconic. Its performance, by the way, is measured not only in power, but in how it makes you feel confident, sexy. The Genesis GV70. Learn more at genesis.com and feel the GV70. Okay, let's have some real talk, just one-on-one for a second. I know you know this feeling. You start your period and the only pad that you have available is uncomfortable. It's like crunchy and weird. We can literally start our car from our phones, but we're still settling for crunchy, uncomfortable pads. Girl, listen, when you're looking for softness and protection, Kotex has you covered. They are changing the game with a completely redesigned lineup of pads and liners that are designed around what women actually want, like Kotex Bamboo. Kotex Bamboo has a 100% bamboo-derived viscose top layer that provides ultra-soft protection, which means you don't have to worry about feeling itchy or uncomfortable. It's like the worst feeling ever. It's gentle on the skin and it's made without fragrance too. Check out Kotex.com for more details on the new and exciting launch of Kotex Bamboo, available in regular, heavy, overnight, and daily liners. Every flow covered. Now available at retailers nationwide.
Here's a quick podcast for all you true crime fans. The case of the missing Reese's. It was me at the store with my mouth. Motive? They're Reese's. What was I going to do? Stop myself? Tune in next time to see if I do it again. Spoiler, I will. Wow, that had everything. Reese's, suspense, Reese's.
America's #1 meal kit. With HelloFresh, you get farm fresh, pre-portioned ingredients and seasonal recipes delivered right to your doorstep. Skip the trips to the grocery store, and count on HelloFresh to make home cooking easy, fun, and affordable. That's why it's America's #1 meal kit. I am thoroughly obsessed with HelloFresh. In fact, this is not a lie. I have my arm raised right now. I'm swearing on my new slippers, and I've never had a bad meal from HelloFresh. Every single meal that I've had, I've loved. It's also just so easy to select meals from the Taste of Summer series, and they're sure to become your new favorite. There's Old Bay shrimp and sausage boil. Drew and I actually made that one the other night, and I just didn't put sausage in mine, and it was absolutely delicious. And Drew really enjoyed his with like everything involved. But there's also on that menu family-styled grilled steak lettuce wraps. You know, I am a vegetarian, but that sounds absolutely delicious. But that's the thing about HelloFresh. The plans are super flexible. There's something for everybody. They have family meals. There's vegetarian. There's like plant-based. You know, there's something for everybody. And it's 72% cheaper than dining at a restaurant, and it's even cheaper than going grocery shopping. So it's putting money back in your pocket. Go to HelloFresh.com/morbid16 and use code morbid16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. Again, that's HelloFresh.com/morbid16 and use code morbid16 for up to 16 free meals and 3 free gifts. America's #1 meal kit.
And then there was just like some little things that seemed to just fall into place at the right time. And one of those things was when they realized the TO written in the blood. So online, there seems to be a few discrepancies with different stories. There's one story where a young college woman lived with your mom and you. And then the other story is that the responding officer saw it. So can you clear that up for us?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, yeah. So, the photo of the T and the O was taken by my grandfather.
Right.
He took 3 or 4 pictures of the crime scene when the family was allowed back into the house. So, my grandma had those photos in her possession. But so when the family was allowed back in to get my clothes the following day, her name is Linda. She went with my Aunt Carolyn into the house to get my clothes, and Linda noticed it.
Okay.
Well, years and okay, so Linda lived with my grandparents at the time. Her and my sister aunt.
That's what she is to me.
Polygamy, I promise. It's not polygamy.
That's exactly what Alaina and I are. Sister aunts, sister nieces. So we get it.
Yeah, and she calls my husband Brunkle for like brother uncle.
Brother uncle, yeah. We have a very similar family dynamic.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it was Linda. So then when this all started to come about, Linda messaged me on Facebook. Thank God for Facebook. Thank God for social media.
Seriously.
She messaged me and said, I have something to tell David Brewer. Do you think she says it might help the case? And I'm like, oh yeah, call him. I had no clue what it was.
Wow.
No clue.
Wow.
And so she called him, and he says, well, I'll come over. And so he went over where she was living, and she drew it out. He didn't show her the picture. She drew it out where it was.
Wow.
And then David shows her the picture, and sure enough, there it is.
Wow.
So
That must have just been like, boom.
Yeah.
I swear the universe just like put things into place here. I swear.
Oh, absolutely. Because David said, well, this sounds a little too Hollywoodish,
It
Of
does.
course.
written in her own blood. Come on. Yeah.
Wow.
But she did it.
Wow.
She did it.
And again, when you mentioned that, when we were talking about the whole thing, I was like, all right, that's it. Like, she's amazing. I was like, how does that's not even something you could conjure up.
There's never been another case that we've ever covered where that has happened. No. And I remember reading it and just being mind blown.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, all those years growing up, I had never heard this story that she'd written it in her own blood.
Right.
And how they missed it.
That's
back
what's
then,
so wild.
Because it's clear as day, like it really is.
Right. And, and in my impact statement, I had told Tom, how does it make you feel, that she's with her dying breath, she's writing T and O in her own blood.
Right. And he wouldn't even look at you, right?
Right.
What a coward.
Such a coward.
Absolute coward. So speaking of that full-blown coward, how did it feel when he was finally arrested? Do you remember that day?
Oh, absolutely.
I
bet. David and Wally Hendricks, who came to my house, another Carbon County Sheriff detective, they came to my house, and David says, oh, I have some paperwork I need you to sign. And I said, okay, whatever. So he comes over, makes small talk, and he says, oh, hey, look at this cool photo. Hands me his phone, and it's Egley in handcuffs. Holy crap.
Oh my God.
What a way to do it.
Right?
Wow.
Right?
Wow. What a mic drop moment that is.
I was like, are you freaking kidding me? Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh, I love it.
Well, and it was, the same when David called to tell me Egley confessed. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah.
After all these years.
After all these years. And we got him.
Wow.
I mean, it's so surreal after all this 46 years, 46 years. I feel like somebody finally listened to this little 4-year-old Heidi.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Definitely. She's living in you all along, and finally she gets her answers.
Yeah,
you want to go all along.
You want to go back and high five 4-year-old Heidi and be like, we did it.
Honestly.
Right. Well, and then David, he did some pretty cool things too. He had Tom handcuffed in pink handcuffs.
Stop it.
I
love it.
And I'm going to show you these too.
Oh my God.
excited.
But he had him handcuffed in pink handcuffs, and he later got him engraved. And he has the original set of handcuffs that he was arrested in. And then I'm going to show you these.
Oh,
Can you see that?
stop it.
My goodness.
That's amazing.
Wow.
So those are the ones he went to prison in.
That is so amazing.
I love that that is like in your living room, just right there.
Yeah.
I would have it in the exact same place.
And you guys can't see it, but those are very pink handcuffs. And they're on a very fancy little plaque.
And you know he was pissed about it, I bet.
I love it.
Right. And see, and on my set, they say November 29th, 2016. That's the day that he was escorted into Utah State Prison.
Amazing, which is something he was really ticked about. Unreal.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
Unreal.
That blew my mind.
Have you had any opportunity other than when you were able to read your victim impact statement to speak with him, or do you have any desire to?
I have no desire to. None.
I don't blame you.
Don't blame you.
It would be wasting my breath.
Absolutely.
You know?
Truly.
I honestly have no desire to. I hope I don't have to go before the parole hearing, but if I do, I'm there.
And we're
that's
right there with you.
Absolutely.
For real. Like
And we're
we're
gonna
there.
all
That
Sure,
offer
please.
stands.
Okay. And we're going to wear shirts that say die mad, Tom. Die mad.
Yes.
With pink handcuffs on them, Heidi.
Yes.
Absolutely.
All right, we have a whole game plan.
This is happening.
It's got to happen now,
Okay.
you know?
Absolutely.
Well, those were all our questions. Thank you so much for taking the time with us today. And is there anything else that you want to share about your story or your mother's story?
Oh, so one of my favorite sayings that I just happened to come up with was, as long as you hope, you have a chance. Because, when I was feeling like there was nothing left I could do, just a little glim of hope. I mean, 46 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And to still have hope after all those years, it was the hope that kept driving you.
Yeah.
absolutely. Absolutely. Never give up. As long as you have hope, you have a chance. Yeah.
Absolutely. I love that. That's awesome.
No case is truly cold. No cases. I always hate hearing people say, like, well, I don't think this one's ever going to get solved.
No.
It's like, no. 46 years. Like, that's all
Everybody
you gotta
Never
think
give
of.
up. Yep.
Yeah.
Everybody needs to look at it the way that you did.
Yeah.
Really.
Thank you.
I truly believe if you wanted to topple a mountain, you could.
I think so
I have
too.
complete faith in you.
Well, thanks.
You're welcome.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. It was so nice to meet you. And again, thank you so much for coming on. Our listeners are going to be stoked.
Thank you. And, your viewers and listeners, if you will, they are pretty amazing. I made a post
They
on
are.
Facebook and holy crap,
Now you have a whole community of weirdos. That's what we call
it's
them.
awesome.
You got a lot of support.
You really do.
We're behind you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Of course,
And
thank
definitely
you.
have a new fan. I had never heard your podcast, embarrassing enough, but I had a friend reach out and said, Heidi, your mom's story's on. And I'm all, what?
You're like,
You guys
oh,
did amazing. So
Thank
thank
you.
you.
thank you. And
Of
keep in
course.
touch.
Yeah, keep in touch.
Absolutely.
Definitely. We'd love to have you
And
on
if you ever
again.
Yeah, and if I would love that. And let's get some die mad Tom shirts.
We're going to do that.
Okay, let's do it.
Gotta happen.
We're going to talk to the merch team. Let's
we're
go.
going to get them out to you.
Okay.
You'll have the first one.
Yeah.
Sweet. I will wear it to the Helper Arts Festival proudly
Yes.
because that's where it all began.
Amazing.
Yes.
That's so great. Well, thank you so much, Heidi. And we'll talk to you soon, I hope.
Okay, thank you.
Well, guys, we hope you enjoyed getting to hear from Heidi herself. We absolutely enjoyed sitting down with her. It was
So much.
an absolute pleasure.
Truly.
But on a more serious note, guys, if you or anyone you know is suffering from domestic abuse, help is available. Please call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at 800-799-7233. And if you're looking for more information on domestic violence and legal action that can be taken, please visit the Battered Women Justice Center at www.bwjp.org to learn more.
Waking up exhausted, foggy, and running on empty? For me, one of the missing pieces was magnesium support. That's why I added Magnesium Breakthrough by Optimizers to my nightly routine. It's a powerful all-in-one magnesium complex with 7 forms of magnesium designed to support relaxation, sleep, stress response, and recovery. If you're ready to feel more rested and have a great summer, go to bioptimizers.com/hags and use code HAGS for 15% off any order.
I like things my way. My coffee, my schedule, and my treatment. So I talked to my doctor about self-injecting with the Vyvgart Hytrulo prefilled syringe, which contains efgartigimod alpha and hyaluronidase QVFC. It's injected under your skin, subcutaneously. It means I can inject in my space, on my time. It's my treatment, my way. Visit VyvgartMyWay.com. That's VYVGART MyWay.com. And talk to your doctor about Vyvgart Hytrulo. Brought to you by argenx.